And Louis C.K. raised some eyebrows on Joe Rogan's podcast when he hammered Americans for prioritizing the country's safety over the security of others.
You're not supposed to be happy, and you're not supposed to be safe.
That is a universal truth. Bro, if everybody was happy, there would be literally no progress. And if everybody was safe, well, we know how that turns out if you're based. You know, as much as conservatives constantly complain about, certain things that they don't like being told what to do, you're not doing yourself any favors by being a border cuck. You're just accelerating fascism.
I think that's the problem, is that people expect that. My feeling is they should open the border, and just let everybody pour in, and then the answer.
I absolutely agree with that part, and I'll tell you why. Give me one reason I should fear an alien over a birthright citizen. Now, if you want to argue you should have to go through the system to earn the rights and privileges of being a U.S. citizen, we can talk about that, and my compromise would be sacrifice your birthright citizenship. Oh, you have to pay for that! Literally, you have to fucking pay to revoke your citizenship. So I'm not gonna fucking do that. But if I could stay and I could still go anywhere I want in an ideal globalist utopia, if we were all just allowed to do that, including, by the way, white people should be for this. I don't get why they aren't. Are they that fucking stupid? Of course the answer is yes. But yeah, open borders are based. And really, what is a border? It doesn't exist. Like, all you're advocating for is using force against certain people you don't like, based on the assumption that they're criminals, that they're breaking the law, which isn't a fucking real thing. I know, brain bomb here, but like, conservatives are like, ugh, gun laws, how are they gonna enforce that? I'll tell you how. The same way you're letting them enforce this bullshit. The same way you enforce any other law. And obviously everybody has their own personal line. Should murder be legal? Well, in order to have legal, you have to have law. I don't, as an anarchist, believe in any laws. I agree with some laws, just by happenstance, by coincidence, because the basic ones are moral. But anything that involves government funding, police brutality, all of this, putting kids in cages, separating them from their families, for any reason, by the way. If these were white people, if these were Japanese people, we did this to Japanese people, and now we're letting them do it with Haitians and shit. And whoever else. It's not just Mexicans, by the way. It's like Guatemalans. It's all these different countries. There is an economic interest in migrants, in shipping them here. Capitalists are going to benefit from that, but that's an entirely separate issue from the fact that you have the right to do that. You see what I'm getting at?
Which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying, in America.
Let's bring in Douglas Murray, Fox News contributor. So the conversation goes on.
You know, that's fucking genius, because Louis has always been controversial. He's always said things to trigger people, and this is no exception. And now, I don't want to listen to this dildo explain why we need borders. I know all their arguments. They're all weak sauce. There's not a single one that makes any fucking sense. Let's watch the conservative twins.
There's a form of life. Like people, I was really listening to something about the border. These people just trying to come into America. And some people are like, well, if we let just a few in, it's a mess.
Context. See, what Fox News did was they cut out all the fucking context of his statement.
There's no good
That's not surprising, of course. I'm just pointing it out. As on the record.
Answer, Right. What if we just let the ones in who are really upset?
What?
Yeah. But we can't let them all in. Like when liberals try to say, it's like the dumbest position they get into. It's like, well, we can't let them in here. Got to keep them out. But we really like them, and it's great that they're brown, and sorry. But, there's like an impossible, and then the right takes over, and they sound racist, and then the left takes over. They just sound stupid. But my feeling is they should open the border.
Hell no.
And just let everybody pour in.
This guy gets it.
And then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great.
Yes, because dude, conservatives are having a meltdown over this. Because the fact, and libertarians, by the way, are sucking their dick because they want their banker Israeli money. Okay, that's why I haven't seen a lot of them call this shit out. At least the prominent ones. But conservatives are having a fucking hissy fit because people want to be free. Because they want to be free with the same principle that we have in the United States, by the way. It's the best part of an entire continent that they claim ownership to just because their mother shat them out of their womb on a particular parcel of dirt. And you think that makes you more entitled to a better society than someone who comes from the gutter in Rio or wherever? As you fund our military to go overthrow their leaders so that they don't even have a chance of becoming democratic countries or whatever you envision as a proper government. Oh, but should we sacrifice our way of life? It's not our. There is no our, Mr. Hyper Individualist. Oh, I don't need any government in my life. But when it comes to the border, like they just flip all of a sudden.
You should want to feel safe. Yeah, it's a horrible thing to
Who
feel
are these blue-eyed coons?
safe and have a good life and feel safe around your kids, have shelter, food, medicines, doctors. You shouldn't have those things because other people don't have as much. Well, look here, like, that's a crazy-ass argument you just made. Yes, since the beginning of time, civilization, man, when he was just like a caveman, he was sitting in a cave, it was cold, it was wet, he had no shoes, damn saber-tooths outside waiting for his ass to come out and devour his ass. So man came and said, you know what? We gotta create weapons, guns. You know? I think the saber-tooth was already
Bro,
dead.
actual caveman logic.
In America, it shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle, and just keep trying to increase that for this group of people, and then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it. There's something wrong with that. That's not a system that's working, and it forces people to do cruel things to other people. There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be safe. They're just dying, weddings that are drone bombed in Yemen because the guy said something that might have resulted in American insecurity. Not even like definite American deaths, but like just so we can breathe a little easier. Folks die. And folks do labor in unsafe places so that we can keep the prices where we like them. There's so much about American life that other people pay for. That's part of it. But also, it's not good for us either. It's not a good way to live in a gated community, If you let folks pour in, like any other wave, it'll kind of slosh. And then things will be different. I don't know, like, what'll really happen? A bunch of people, like, will they just come with knives and start killing everybody? I don't think so. It's this very old European kind of place, Mexico. It's a beautiful country, and it's got a lot more depth to it than anybody knows here. And we're not really sharing with them because they're kind of like the other guys.
We should have something in North America. I've said this for a while now. We should have something akin to the EU. With Canada and Mexico. If you're for capitalism and you're for free trade, then why the fuck would you be against open borders? It makes no fucking sense.
Is that the more this American security, this feeling of like, there's more oxygen in the air, there's more. It's not good in the end for everybody.
It's good for us. What the hell? What? Well, it's not good for everybody. It don't supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, if their countries want to make it great for their citizens, they have the opportunity to do that, but they don't give a shit.
They don't have the opportunity because they're being militarily oppressed. Because they're being oppressed by our military.
That's crazy. If you used to open the borders, how many people would enter America in just a couple of hours? No, they can't speak the language. They got no skills, no resources. Oh, the government's going to take care of them. You think that's a good idea? And what they give them is not going to
the conservative twins are the best argument against interracial marriage.
be barely enough to live. So they'll be walking down the street. Then I'm going to come pull up in my nice brand new Chevrolet truck. And they go like, with a spear. Be Africans spearing people. Mexicans shooting and killing people.
Dude, you didn't get the joke that he was making. He was making that joke that just like that wouldn't really That doesn't just happen like that. Like, there's crime everywhere, bro. Like, immigration has nothing to do with it. It's poverty. And until we address the issue in this country of poverty, none of this border protection, prevention, whatever you want to call it, none of it is going to help. All it does is steal your fucking money. These motherfuckers on the right, all they do is advocating funneling your money into pig pensions. Actual pork, both in the literal and the figurative. Unnecessary spending to oppress races that they deem lower than whites. And yes, I say whites even though you got, your line of, you got your rainbow, you got your conservative rainbow now. But it doesn't matter because they're advocating for the same exact ideology as the traditional white supremacist. That's a fact. You can include as many colors and gays and transgenders, as many as you want. That does not change the ideology. That does not change the nationalist rhetoric that influences retards. So, white supremacy, we don't even have to call it that anymore. But it is nationalism, and it's the same. It ties in philosophically, and I'm not gonna let these motherfuckers forget that it is racist, especially and most severely when it comes to the prison system, the wealth inequality, districting of neighborhoods in this country. Like, literally in Chicago, it's like there are areas where it's like one side is all white people and the other side is all black. That's because of redlining. That was a historical process in real estate. And this border shit. And also forcing black women to have babies and sink them further into debt and poverty. Great job, guys. Great job, assholes. And you're not only wrong morally, ethically, spiritually, comedically. They have no sense of humor. Conservatives are the worst comics on the fucking planet. Open borders are one of many policies that I advocate for in strengthening the middle class, and in improving international trade, in defunding the police. It's like, yes, there will be problems, as Lewis pointed out, but there have always been problems. And the whole conservative media, all they do is they prey on the fearful. They promote fear. That's their whole thing, is fear. And liberals are obvious hypocrites too, and Louis pointed that out as well. Dude, these people have two twins, one brain cell. That's what this channel should be called. I don't even want to. Okay, goddamn it.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be white people doing crazy shit. I know it's gonna be some crazy ass Russians in here. Some crazy ass Ukrainians. Don't let a bunch of what's those people from Australia?
Them Aborigines?
Don't let them Aborigines get in here. With their bones around their neck and the bones hanging out their nose.
You do realize that if America were to adopt open borders, they're not gonna, but if they did, then everyone else would likely follow suit because our example is that strong and it's been followed, and our military is always going to be a threat to the world and to mankind. But the least we could do is not hurt the poor any more than we already have. And I don't think that's too much to ask. So yeah, give up your birthright citizenship if you want, if you believe in the system. Put your money where your mouth is. Lead by example. I have a whole bit about it, but I'm not going to burn it here. You may see that uploaded when I do my next stand-up this week. So keep a lookout for that. Jake Jones, stay winning or stay tripping.